Hello everyone, it's great to be here. My name is Lola Oduba and of course you're watching the Expose TV network. This is the Impact series. Now if you know the Impact series, if you've been following us on Expose TV network, you know that the Impact series is just where we try to learn together. What we want to do is aspire to be better in ways that we can all learn together. And of course most of our stories are really gotten, that's the topics that we deal with, are really gotten from the society, what is happening in society, at present. And one of such stories that we're going to be looking at today is the impact of adultery in marriage. If you looked at the social media sometime last week, 2 weeks ago, it's been rife with whether a woman should cheat in marriage. Is it really allowed for the man to go about cheating in marriage? So basically that and many more is what we'll be looking at today. We're going to be looking at the effects, whether there's any effect at all, whether it's right, and all the things that you should do, of course, to avoid adultery in marriage. That and so much more on today's episode of Impact series on Expose TV network. And believe me, if you've not shared the message of the Expose TV network, you want to start doing that, because we are on Facebook and YouTube, Expose TV. On TikTok, this is Expose TV, and on Instagram, Expose_TV. Let's go on a short break and we'll be right back. Call everybody and let's hear together. Welcome back, and it's still the Impact series on Expose TV network. We're talking today adultery in marriage. A lot of times, a lot of people go into marriage and they're really not prepared for what marriage entails. Why? Because some people are just shocked at what marriage is through at them when they enter into this institution. It is a secret institution. That's the honest truth. But from what we're seeing in today's world, it is a free-for-all where people can just decide, today I'm not happy, and then they go outside marriage. It's been, with the men, it's really been a long time standing problem. But we're now seeing a lot of women now also engage in adultery. What causes it? First of all, let's look at that. For me, it really is a lack of communication. Because when two people come together and you lose that thing that brought you together, you lose that initial spark that brought you together, then you find that you begin to separate from yourselves emotionally. And once there is no emotional connection, believe me, the marriage begins to disintegrate, and then all those things that brought you together now begins to separate you. Everything that you found attractive about this person, let's say it was his look, let's say it's the way he used to handle things, let's say it was his sense of responsibility, let's say it was the way that emotionally just used to handle the home. So for some people too, is finance. When you see that the man is not able to cater to your needs or cater to the responsibilities of the home, then it pushes some ladies outside as well. When you find that you have to be the man of the house, as a woman, you begin to take responsibilities that is actually not yours. It also begins to, of course, take away the emotions that were once there. Now, for some men, it's laziness. When you find that your woman is so lazy, she's not keeping up with her appearance, you knew her as a very beautiful woman, all of a sudden, this woman that you knew as a beautiful woman has let go. Maybe after one child or two children, she now begins to maybe tie wrapper around the house, or she doesn't take her bath on time, or she doesn't care for her hair. You find that she just had nail under her feet is ashy, all those little things, or she doesn't cook for you on time, or basically she just does not know how to keep the home as a woman. Then you now begin to wonder what went wrong. And that thing that brought you together, that connection that brought you together, you now begin to see that it begins to separate. All of this happens when there is no communication, which is the lack of communication we're talking about. Because once there is communication, you find that communication and understanding, the most important thing in marriage, I keep saying it, love is good, but respect, communication, more important than even love. and understanding is more important, because you can actually live with someone if you don't love them. You can't live with someone. Once there is understanding, once there is that sense of communication that you can communicate with each other, you'll be amazed at the number of things that you can overlook. But once there is no communication, you find yourself getting angry at the slightest opportunity. You find yourself getting irritated at the slightest thing. And your irritation, the other person now gets angry because he or she cannot understand why you're even getting angry in the first place. So you see, there is a breakdown because you have not been able to bring communication, bridge that communication gap. And because you have not been able to bridge that communication gap, irritation begins to happen. And once irritation sets in, love begins to die. So remember, understanding and communication, very important. Once there is someone you can talk to, once there is someone that understands where you are coming from, that's why a lot of people begin to say identical backgrounds play a huge role in who you marry, which then helps you to avoid adultery. Because if this person has a similar background to yours, I'm not saying in all cases, but if this person has a similar background to yours, there are many things that you can overlook together. There are many things that you can find funny together. There are many things that, the person understands where you're coming from. There's someone that you have no background identity with. Both of you don't find the same things funny. Both of you get irritated at different things. Both of you have not been able to talk about what you want. So there must be clear communication. To enter into marriage is not just I love you. It must be that both of you see life from the same frequency. Both of you share the same values. You know where you're going together. You know where you want to get to. Not that someone is highly ambitious and the next person doesn't have any ambition at all. Because what would then happen is that the one who is ambitious will feel pulled down by the one who lacks ambition, and the one who is not ambitious now begins to feel, what is your problem? Why are you stressing me? Why are you pushing me? Why are you pushing yourself so hard? Why we should be relaxing? And then when it comes to spending pattern, you find that because this person is really not on the same level as you, the person now begins to say, why are you spending so much? Which takes us to the next point of the day, which is, of course, when you both do not have the same financial goals. When you do not share the same financial goals, outlook on life, the same way that you want to maybe see spending, see accumulation, see investments. If you do not share those ideology, you are going to have a problem. So all of this will lead to irritation, which then leads to the person seeking satisfaction elsewhere. If he or she maybe had somebody in the past and that person maybe spends more than you or doesn't spend as much as you, and they can share, the same vision on how they want their finances to be. And then you find that those things that he or she used to come to meet you about, the person is no more sharing with you because he's found emotional satisfaction or financial satisfaction elsewhere. So as a couple, for you to avoid adultery is not just for you to say, I am married. Is to make sure that those things that you need to speak about, those things that trouble you, are being brought to the fore. And it is very important for your partner to see where you're coming from as well. It's very important for your partner not to shut you down. When a woman feels shut down, when a man feels shut down, not being heard, then adultery is bound to happen. Because when I come to you with a problem and the only thing you can think about it, not now. We'll talk about it later. And then it begins to accumulate. The tension begins to accumulate on the part of the person that wants to let out what he or she may be going through. And then you're not there to listen to this person. Because, the one on social media, we've had so many back and forth where someone says that, the man, all the responsibility was on me. I was the one doing all this. I'd been talking to this person and he wasn't listening. Because she wasn't able to reach him, she now sought satisfaction elsewhere. We're not condoning adultery here. We're just saying that these are the reasons why adultery will happen. Because when you're not there for someone emotionally, when you're not there for someone physically, when you're not there for someone psychologically, then what do you want the person to do? But the truth about the matter of the day is that we're no more in those days where women felt that, our mothers, our grandmothers will stay put. But don't forget also that our mothers and grandmothers had people around them to support them. There were extended family members in the home. There were closer family units in those days. You had uncles, you had aunties, you had sisters, you had everybody coming to stay with you. In this day, you only have most of the time your husband, you, and the children. So basically what that means is that there is pent-up frustration when there is nobody to talk to. Because there is nobody to share what you're going through. So you just keep accumulating all of this. And when there's tension, it must blow somewhere. It must blow somewhere. So what we're saying in essence is that as much as possible, keep a close eye on who you are involved with. Monitor their emotions. Know what they like. You may not be able to satisfy 100% of what they like. I mean, take for instance, let's now take it to the physical pleasure. I mean, you find a situation whereby some men like to get intimate in the morning. Some other men would like to get intimate at night. Some women don't even want intimacy in the morning. They want it at night. So how do you people marry each other? How do you people come together to say, hey, I don't like in the morning, I like it at night? There must be a compromise somehow. Some other people would not even want to compromise. It must be night that I like it at night. It must, Sometimes you think of your partner. If my partner wants intimacy in the morning, can I sometimes give him that intimacy in the morning so that he doesn't feel bad when I don't want it at night? So there must be compromise if you want this thing called marriage to work. It's not I am the Lord and what I want is what always stays. No, marriage cannot work that way. Marriage is something that you both have to think of how to bend. It's not my way. It's not working that way again. Because if you look at it in the past, I mean, we had situations that the men will go out and work. The men will go out and provide. The men will go out but these days, you have a woman who is working as well. If she's working as well, she's bringing something to the table. She's thinking, she's also contributing to the household. How is that woman how is she supposed to allow you take all the decisions in the household when she brings something to the table as well? It's hard. You can only get that when you have a woman who does not bring anything to the table. And most women these days bring a lot to the table. So for you not to lose that respect as a man, it's important you live up to your responsibilities as much as possible. Do not allow the woman to do 50-50 with you. If you can do more, always do more. You're the head of the home. You need respect. You need something for the woman to look up to. She needs to respect you. If you are doing any hanky-panky, well, we don't even support hanky-panky on this show. But God forbid, if you have to, do not bring it to her face. Do not even let her know. Because once a woman, there are some women that once they know that you are involved in an hanky-panky, I can tell you that they are going to revenge. So you know who you are married to. The women of these days are something else, that they do not take the things our mothers of old take. So what we're trying to say in essence today is that, of course, you must be wary of how you treat the partner in your life if you want to avoid adultery. We're not in support of adultery here, but I can tell you that there is something called betrayal trauma. There is loss of self-esteem. There is a divorce that can happen in all of the causes when people indulge in adultery. There is the impact on children. There is social and, of course, professional repercussions as well. And what are we talking about? There is the divorce proceedings, the courts, the finance that go into getting a divorce in the first place, and there is legal penalties as well. There is health bias, there is chronic stress that comes to the process of this. So you want to avoid all of this. So before you even get married, you want to make sure that you are getting married to the right person, someone who meets your needs, someone who at every point in time you can overcome difficulties together, because after a while love will not be the thing that holds you two together. It will be understanding. So you want to make sure that you get all of these things right, so that you can grow a family that is based on mutual understanding. You can grow children who can contribute to society positively. You do not grow children who are anti-society. It's important. And believe me that in engaging in adultery, you could even have the children will know. Yes. So you want to avoid it. The children will, at the end of the day, know. So you want to avoid all of that and make sure that the partner that you choose is someone who understands you totally. I do hope that we have been able to, of course, give light to this conversation more and help you who's watching out there, who's thinking of maybe your partner is not satisfying you in one way or another. Again, I want to mention at this point that if you do not live with the other person who is satisfying you outside, you do not really know the person until you begin to live with someone before you begin to really know who they are. My name is Lola Oduba. It's been a great one on Impact Series. Today, we hope we've been able to help you. You know what to do. Follow us on all our social media handles. That's Expose TV on Facebook and YouTube, on Instagram, Expose_TV, and on TikTok. This is Expose TV. We would like to, of course, keep the conversations going, even on the comment section. Let's hear your take on what you feel. I mean, what can your husband do? What can your partner do to satisfy you even more in the home? Let's take that. And of course, we'll be looking at that in the comment section. See you again next time. I remain Lola Oduba.